The cowboy life is a dreary, dreary life. Some say it's free from care, rounding up the cattle from morning till night in the middle of the prairie so bare. 4:30, that noisy cook will roar, "Hey boys, it's the breaking of day." Slowly we rise with sleepy feeling eyes as the short summer night passed away. The cowboy life is a dreary, dreary life, from dawn till the setting sun. Then his day's work it is not done, for there's still his night guard to go on. The wolves and the owls with their terrifying howls disturb us in our midnight dream, when we're laying in our slickers on a cold rainy night way over on the Pecos stream. The cowboy life is a dreary, dreary life, all out in the midnight rain, punching cattle from morning till night, way out on the Texas plains. Spring sets in, our troubles all begin, the weather being fierce and cold. We're almost froze from the water on our clothes, and the cattle we can scarcely hold. Now the cowboy life is a mighty dreary life, all out in the sleet and snow. Winter time comes, he begins to think, where did his summer wages go? I once loved to roam, now I stay at home. All you punchers, take my advice. Sell your bridle and saddle, quit your roving and travel. Tie on to a pretty little wife. You can talk about your farms and your big city charms. You can talk about your silver and gold, but the cowboy life is a dreary, dreary life when you're driving through the heat and the cold. Now the cowboy life is a dreary, dreary life, all out in the heat and cold, while the rich man is sleeping on his velvet couch, dreaming of his silver and gold. I am a wandering cowboy, from ranch to ranch I roam. At every ranch where welcome, I make myself at home. 2 years I worked for the double L, one for the old Boro. I drifted west from Texas to the plains of Mexico. There I met up with a rancher who was looking for a hand. Springtime greened the valleys, I was burning the Long X brand. I worked on through the summer, then early in the fall, over the distant ranges came that old old familiar call. Yodelee, yodelee, yodelee. Drifted out to Arizona to ride for Uncle Bob, a tailing up the weak ones on a winter feeding's job. But the ranch camp grew too lonely, with never a rest or change. So I saddled up one morning and I lit for a distant range. One night in old Wyoming, when the stars hung bright and low, I lay in my tarp a-dreaming of a far-off home rancho, where the cottonwood leaves are whispering in the evening soft and low. 'Tis there my heart's returning, and homeward I must go. Yodelee, yodelee, yodelee. I am a Texas cowboy just off the Texas plains. My trade is cinching saddles and pulling bridle reins. I can twist a lasso with the greatest skill and ease. I can rope and ride a bronco most anywhere I please. I am a jolly cowboy from Texas now I hail. Give me my quirtin' pony, I'm ready for the trail. I love the rolling prairies, they're free from care and strife. Behind a bunch of longhorns I'll journey all my life. When early dawn is breaking and we are far away, we fall into our saddles, we round up all the day. We rope, we brand, we earmark, the boss he thinks we're smart. And when the herd is ready for Kansas, then we start. When we get on the trail, boys, the dusty billows rise. It's 50 miles from water and the grass is scorching dry. The boss is mad and ringy, you all can plainly see. I'll have to follow the longhorns, I'm a cowboy here to be. When threatening clouds do gather and herded lightnings flash, and heavy raindrops splatter and rolling thunders crash, what keeps the herd from running, stampeding far and wide? The cowboy's long low whistle and singing by their side. Oh, when we get 'em bedded, we think it's for the night. Some horse will shake his saddle, it'll give the herd a fright. They'll bound to their feet, boys, and they'll stampede away. In less than half a moment's time, you'll hear some cowboys say, oh, when we get 'em bedded, you'll feel most forlorn. A cloud will rise in the west, boys, and fire play on their horns. The boss will stay with 'em, boys, your pay you'll get in gold. I'm bound to follow the longhorns until I am too old. When we get to Abilene, the boss he pays us up. We loaf around the city, we take a parting cup, then bid farewell to city life, leave noisy crowds behind. I'm going back to Texas and that sweet little gal of mine. I'm coming back to marry the only girl I love. She said I am her darling, I am her own true love. And when we two are married, no more will I roam. We'll settle down forever in our little Texas home. Oh, I am a Texas cowboy just off the Texas plains. My trade is cinching saddles and pulling bridle reins. I love the rolling prairies, they're free from care and strife. Behind a bunch of longhorns I'll journey all my life. When I was but a young man, wild and full of fire, a youth within my teens but full of challenge and desire, I ran away from home and left my mother and my dad. It grieved them so to think that their only boy was bad. I fell in with an outlaw band, the names were known quite well. How many times we'd robbed and plundered I could never tell. This kind of sinful living will lead only to a fall. I learned that much and more the night I heard my master call. One night we rustled cattle, 1,000 head or so, and started them out on the trail that leads to Mexico. When a norther started blowing and lightning flashed about, I thought someone was calling me, thought I heard a shout. At that moment lightning struck not 20 yards from me, and left there was a giant cross where once there was a tree. This time I knew I heard a voice so sweet and plain, a voice that came from everywhere, a voice that called my name. So frightened I was thinking of the sinful deeds I'd done, I failed to see the 1,000 head of cattle start to run. The cattle they stampeded and were running all around. My pony ran but stumbled and threw me to the ground. I felt the end was nearing, that death would be the price, when a mighty bolt of lightning showed the face of Jesus Christ. Then I cried, "Oh Lord, forgive me, don't let it happen now. I want to live for you alone, God, these words I vow." My wicked life unfolded and I thought of wasted years, when another bolt of lightning killed 100 head of steers. And the others rushed on by me, and I was left to live. The master had a reason, life was his to take or give. A miracle performed that night, I wasn't meant to die. The dead ones formed a barricade at least 6 or 7 high, and right behind it there was I, afraid but safe and sound. I cried and begged for mercy, kneeling there upon the ground. A pardon I was granted and my sinful soul set free. No more to fear the angry waves upon life's stormy sea. Forgiven by the love of God, a love that will remain. I gave my life and soul the night the Savior called my name. I gave my life and soul the night the Savior called my name. What's become of the punchers we rode with long, long ago? The hundreds and hundreds of cowboys we all of us used to know. Sure, some were killed by lightning, some when the cattle run, and others were killed by horses, and some by the old 6-gun. Those that worked out on the roundup, and those of the brand and pen, those who went out on that long trail drive, never to return again. We know of some who have prospered, we know of some who are broke. My old partner made millions in Denver, while I've got my saddle in soak. And sleeping and working together, and eating old Coozie's good chuck, and riding in all kinds of weather, and playing in all kinds of luck, and bragging about our top horses. Each puncher, he's ready to bet that his horse could outrun the bosses, or any old horse you could get. Gene Rhodes is among all the highbrows, writing about the West. But I know about lots of doings that he never has confessed. And he used to ride 'em careless back in the good old days. both worked together up in the San Andres. Now building big loops we call blockers and spinning the rope in the air, and never a cent in our pockets. Oh, but what did a cowpuncher care? Now I'm tired of riding this trail, boys, dead tired of riding alone. Believe I'll head old Button for Texas and our old Palo Pinto home.